Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Good evening. Good night. Wherever you're watching this video from, wherever you're joining in from, whichever part of the world you're joining in from, those joining from Australia, this is already their morning. So thank you for joining us today again. We are on the Training Transfer Effectiveness webinar series, which we've been doing since beginning of this year, and we've been running it every Thursday since January. And we are glad to see the ripple effect it's been having on individuals, on organizations, and at least you've seen my face now. So let me stop it. My internet just gave me a signal. Let me stop my video. At least you've seen my face and know who you're talking to. Okay. So today what we are looking at is training alone doesn't deliver results. Why it takes an ecosystem to drive training transfer effectiveness. So for those of us that are joining in from the first time, I think it's only Femi that is an old bee. She's not a newbie. So for those of you just joining us for the first time, welcome. I'll come to where I'm going to welcome you and ask you to introduce yourself. So this is a training transfer effectiveness journey. For people like Femi, I said the journey continues. For people like Edward and Ngozi, I said the journey begins, because this is the first time, if I'm not mistaken, Edward, but I know for Ngozi, this is the first time I'm seeing you here. And so today we are talking about saying that training alone cannot deliver the results. If you want training to deliver ROE and ROI, it cannot do it on its own. So it takes an ecosystem to drive training transfer effectiveness. And that's what we're going to be using a case study to look at this. So let me welcome you. So welcome. So glad you are here. So glad you are all here. Please let's introduce ourselves, please, so I can read out. So type into chat your name, the country you're joining in from, and your role in your organization. I'll take that again. Your name, the country you're joining in from, and your role in your organization. So if you don't mind, type it into chat. While I allow you to type it into chat, I would continue and give my own introduction. So this is me. My name is Sandra Ihenacho. I'm popularly known as the Oracle. I'm Africa's leading voice on training transfer effectiveness. Okay. It's not. I'm wondering, what slide are we seeing? Samson, are you seeing the slide? Okay, yes, that's come on now. I think it's my network. That's come on. So my name is Sandra Ihenacho, popularly known as the Oracle. I'm Africa's leading voice on training transfer effectiveness. I'm an ex-banker, a CEO. I'm also the mother of 5 children, 3 lovely boys and 2 girls. I am an IFC Global Master Trainer. IFC stands for International Finance Corporation. It's the sister arm of World Bank. I'm a certified assessor with the Learning Performance Institute in the UK. What that means is I help them to certify trainers globally using the global competences to certify those trainers. I'm a transfer enabler for Africa for the Institute for Transfer Effectiveness in Switzerland. And so I represent them in Africa, help certifying people on the 12 levers of transfer effectiveness. I'm also Nigerian's first certified transfer designer. I'm a resource person with the Lagos Business School, so I teach in the Lagos Business School. I'm in the organizational behavior, which is OB, and HR department. I'm also a certified transformational coach. I'm a certified team and group coach. I'm also a certified Kirkpatrick professional, bronze level. But right now, I started my silver level certification. I started yesterday. So from silver level, I want to go to gold, which is the highest certification for those in HR Ireland. If you don't know about Kirkpatrick, please, it's an error. You have to know about Kirkpatrick there, because they are one of the oldest. It was Don, his father, James' father, that brought about the 4 levels of evaluation. And so I make use of their 4 levels of evaluation. I also make use of the 12 levers, and that's what I built my model on. There's no need of reinventing the wheel again. What they've done years of research on, I just built on it. That's what I just did. Why reinvent wheel? Even what they did, they built on something else. they built on research and other works people have done, right? So why do we reinvent wheels? And I'm a teacher and a trainer, whichever you call me, for the past 26 years, both formal and informally. I also work with the Center for Accelerated Learning in the US. I am one of their partners for Africa, and I will be certified by them very soon to make use of the accelerated learning principles. Hopefully, I want to also get certified maybe by next year. This last one, high performance learning journey certification by Promote, which is Professor Robin Brinkerhoff. So why am I doing all this? When you stop learning, you start dying. Every area that I need to, which is measurement and evaluation and coaching, any area I want to be the subject matter expert. So I've been on measurement and evaluation. I've been on transfer, trying to ensure how do we do this. Is a journey I started as far back as 2010, over 14 years ago. And so that's a little bit about myself. So now let me read and let me welcome those. Let me just look at what is on the chat box and welcome those that we have there. Okay, Femi, of course, Femi is our old B. Glad to have you on. Femi, you didn't tell people where you're joining in from. Okay, we have. Is this same Ngozi? Is this Ngozi A? Are you Ngozi Adebi? Please say yes or no. Is this?
Yes. Yes.
See me screaming in front of. This is recorded. This is recorded. That's my sister.
Yes, indeed. I was like, I have to come today. I mean, it popped up on my alarm. I was like, I'm joining. Truly, when you stop learning, you start dying. So I'm here to learn.
Thank you so much for joining. You don't just go and check out on LinkedIn so you know what I'm screaming and shouting. Ngozi has been doing great things, starting from Nigeria. Now she's in the US. Great, marvelous things. Just go and check her up on LinkedIn. In Nigeria, she was in Inside Out, her HR firm, and now she's doing a lot of things with Kenya. In short, just go and check her out. Let me not blow her trumpet. Check her out on LinkedIn. Ngozi Adebi, that's her full name. Thank you, sis, for joining all the way from the US. You're sincerely appreciated for dialing in.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So we have Femi. Femi, thank you. Femi is joining in from Lagos. She's HRBP joining in from Lagos. And so please just tell us where you're joining in from and your role. Edward, if you don't mind, Emmanuel is an old B too. In Emmanuel, right? Emmanuel and Femi, they are old Bs. Emmanuel, you can also, just because of the new Bs here, just let us know where you're joining in from. Okay, great. So this is what we usually show every week, because we believe that it is very, very important that you apply. We are talking about application. That's what I am all about. That's what we are doing in this webinars. So we said we need to practice what we preach. So what does that mean? So every week we give ourselves an assignment. Whatever has been taught, whatever you've learned, you go and do something. Like Femi started by reading a book. She started by doing research. That is something. So you must do something new every week. You must try something, no matter how little it is. So the only person that was here last week was Emmanuel. Emmanuel, what have you done? What have you done from last week? Emmanuel usually does something. So let me just let you people know. There's always something new he has done. So maybe let's hear from Emmanuel. Let me read his profile. Emmanuel is joining in. He's the team lead of Same Consult in L&D. He's also a coach all the way from Ghana. And Emmanuel, by the way, Emmanuel is our TTE champion in Ghana. So we are opening TTE hubs in every African country. So Emmanuel is our TTE champion in Ghana. We have a TTE champion in Zambia, which is Braston. We have a TTE champion in Rwanda, which is Lillian. I'm sure, I don't know, maybe it's her network, she went off. So if you're in any African country and you're on call here and you want to be a TT means Training Transfer Effectiveness champion, please ensure you just drop your name and drop your contact, your email and your phone number. Samson, my colleague here, will reach out to you, because what we want to do is we want to create training transfer effectiveness hubs in every African country. Our aim is from this year to 2030, we want to help over 500 businesses to show return on expectation and return on investment for every of their training investment. Is it possible? Yes. Is it doable? Yes. Are we doing it? Yes, we are doing it. So we want to work with more businesses, more organization. Kenya needs one. Yes, NG. Yes, Kenya needs one. It will be great. I don't know if you can also, you're in US. I don't know if you can get us someone from Kenya, right? Get us someone from Kenya that will do that. But because I know that you have a whole lot doing in Kenya, so that's what we are doing. So Emmanuel, are you ready to tell us what you do? Okay, thank you so much. I will. Thank you, sis. I will.
Yeah, Coach Sandra.
Let me give you a secret before I continue. Ngozi is my elder sis. She's my big sis. I call her my big sis. So she's my big sis. Continue. Emmanuel, please.
Oh, hello, elder sis Ngozi. Yeah, we thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we are under serious training for the various for a very dynamic course. So, Coach, thank you so much for the opportunity. I think from last week, the first thing I'll say is that I think last week I didn't complete the session. I think it was a network and data issue or so. But what I did, in fact, from last 3 weeks, the day we did the ROI and ROE, I made up my mind that I was going to, because I saw this is possible, just that people may not have known it, or they are not just abreast with the facts and probably ignorance. And so I made up my mind, at least I will bring one person every week. And so last week I brought another person who will be joining. So whilst I take them in, I try as much as possible to reorient myself. So in fact, after every session, I try my possible best to reflect and see how, because this is a mindset, honestly, it's a mindset that we need to imbibe. And so I take time to really reflect and then plan to invite someone new. And I think that has been so someone will be joining very soon. Abigail, when she joins, I'll notify you, or you can see her. So that's what I did for the week. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You can see we're already clapping. So from Coach Sandra, that's the person clapping for you. Emmanuel has been awesome. He's really a champion and advocate. He's calling people. He's calling his clients. His clients, they joined him last week. A client, can you imagine how dogged Emmanuel is? Asking a client, you have to join this and come and see what I've been telling you. So thank you so much, Emmanuel, and well done. Well done. Okay, so we'll move ahead. I'll move a bit faster because we have more people, so I would want us to ensure we finish this. Now, what we are doing today is how return on expectation and the 6 components of the training transfer effectiveness ecosystem leads to real results. Now, the various years of what I've done, just like I said, I've been on this journey for the past 14 years. I've been researching, I've been testing, trying, working with clients, asking questions, researching, as in doing a whole lot until I was able to design the 2 models that I use with clients, which is what I've been talking about. If you check our videos on YouTube, Samson, please help us to put the YouTube link. You'll see I've spoken about it, even in webinars for IFC, even in webinars with L&D Conference by Margaret Jackson. I've spoken on it there. It's very, 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 very important, very dear to my heart. And from that, I also designed various frameworks I use, like now what we call the TTE echo. So whenever I say TTE, it means training transfer effectiveness. The TTE ecosystem is what I also designed for you to see return on expectation and return on investment for your training investment. This, you must have a buy-in of these 6 components. So we'll talk about it more. Now, I came across a powerful question from an L&D group that struck a deep chord within me. So I belong to like 3 different L&D groups. And this was the question. I'm going to ask you, so I'm going to use it to teach today. It said, how do you isolate return on investment from training when performance results may be influenced by other factors like market conditions, pricing, or seasonal demand? That was the question they asked on that L&D group. I responded to it because of course I chatted and it was a long chat. I told them this is going to be a long read, but I sent it. But I thought about it. I said, why don't I use that as a webinar session and talk about it? This webinar, we have about 1 hour, 30 minutes. And so that would help us to be able to do it. Now, he said, how do you isolate ROI from training when performance results may be influenced by other factors like market conditions, pricing, or seasonal demand? Now, what this did to me, it reminded me why I have been echoing this message across Africa. And what is the message I've been echoing across Africa? The message I've been echoing across Africa is training alone. I will take that again. Training alone doesn't change performance. It takes an ecosystem. Training alone doesn't change performance. It takes what? An ecosystem. So let's look at the case study. Let's just look at this case study. So let me share the case study he shared on the group. And this was what he shared. So he said marketing skills training was delivered to a sales team. Follow me. It was delivered to a sales team. The team achieved the record-breaking results. The line manager acknowledged improved staff competence. However, the manager credited the results to other factors. Can you imagine? To better market conditions, product upgrades, seasonal demand, and new pricing strategies. Now, the guy was asking, he said, so L&D was HR, they were angry, as in, you told us to do a sales training. We did a sales training for your team. You acknowledge that the staff competency improved. You acknowledge that you were able to achieve your record-breaking result. And now you're saying that it has nothing to do with the training. It was better market conditions, product upgrades, seasonal demand, and new pricing strategies. Now, given that outcomes are often influenced by multiple variables, how can HR effectively demonstrate the return on investment of training and isolate its specific impact on performance? That was this question. Now, let me ask before I continue. Answer this question before I continue. Is there anybody that wants to answer? So, given that outcomes are often influenced by multiple variables, how can HR effectively demonstrate the return on investment of training and isolate its specific impact on performance? Is there anybody that wants to try? If there's nobody, I will go ahead. Let me just give some few seconds for people to think about it and see if it's something you want to try. Okay, there's nobody that wants to try. It's okay. I will go ahead. Now, this was my response. So why this case matters? This was why I brought up this case to use it in this webinar. This is the reality in many organizations. When outcomes improve after training, leadership often struggles to credit training alone. And it is okay. Hear me. It is okay that leadership decides that they would not credit the improvement or the productivity of whatever it is that done to training alone. Yeah, it is okay. Why? Because training on its own cannot and does not produce sustainable performance improvements. Let me say it clearly again. Training alone does not change performance. It is the oracle that is saying it. Training alone does not change performance. In Africa, we usually say it takes a village to raise a child. Yeah? Now, I say it takes an ecosystem to show return on investment and return on expectation for a training investment. Please, HR, do not allow management, leaders, SBUs, heads of XBUs, HOUs to see you as a training as magic. You're not performing magic. You're not a magician. L&D and HR, you want to be magicians. You are not a magician. They just tell you, please do a training on leadership. We want all our leaders to be leading to everyone. In short, we want this organization to now have a good culture. Everybody are happy coming to organization. Through just one leadership training. Is that what will happen? Are you a magician to do magic? So training alone does not change performance. And now this is what I say. Stop trying to isolate return on investment. Stop it. Don't isolate it again. Don't try to isolate training and say it was training, this return on investment, or this shift, or this productivity, this competency improvement, this productivity was training alone. This is a no. And why? One, isolating ROI is misleading, because training alone is not the sole reason performance improves. There are many variables that contribute to it. Many variables that contribute to it. Secondly, it cannot be measured accurately. Why? Because there are market changes, there's leadership support, there are incentives, there are bonuses, there are great systems, there are change of job aids, job templates, timing. All this influence results. So it creates the wrong impression, it creates the wrong expectation, and now it positions training as a miracle worker, which training is not. So when you try to isolate ROI specifically for training, you're positioning training as a miracle worker, and that's why they want you to be working miracle. And any issue, they say training. Any issue, training. Any issue, training. Why? Sometimes the problem might not be a training intervention that will solve it. So what is the smarter move to do? Demonstrate how training contributed to the outcome, not how it cost it alone. Because of course, there's a contribution of training to those outcomes that you're seeing. Now, demonstrate how the training contribute to this. So how can HR demonstrate ROI without isolating it? That's what we're on. How? The first way is use contribution analysis. And what is that? Ask the question, to what extent did training contribute to the outcome? What's the extent? Ensure, what I found out that HR and LRD people are afraid of data. See, what has helped me and what is helping us as a business is we speak in the business, with business language. We don't speak training language. There's a difference between training language and business language. And that's why the SBUs, they will not listen to you, because you're talking training, you're talking learning jargon, training jargon. No, when you talk business language, they will listen to you. A lot of HR, they don't talk an L&D. You don't talk business language. You're talking HR language. You're talking L&D language. You're talking training language. No. So, to what extent did training contribute to the outcome? That is one, which is contribution analysis. The second one is start with ROE. Now, let me tell you, whenever you're able to show ROE, you will definitely get ROI. ROE is called return on expectations. Whenever you're able to show ROE, you will definitely get ROI. Now, so define success with stakeholders even before the training starts. Ask them the question, what does success look like? How would you know we've achieved what you want us to achieve? What is it like? Ensure you define it very well in measurable terms. With that, it is easy to get ROI. The third thing, track across phases. Use Kirkpatrick. I'm telling you the things I use, right? There are a lot. Let me tell you, there are over 70 evaluation tools out there. I've looked at all those things and I've decided to choose my own. You just decide what you want. And this is the ones I've decided to work with. These are two frameworks and models I've been working with, and I'm okay. It is giving me the results. One is the Kirkpatrick. The Kirkpatrick 4 levels of evaluation. It is awesome. That's what I've been using. The second one is the 12 levers of transfer effectiveness by Dr. Ihenacho. Awesome. It's like the icing on the cake. The third one is the PDP model. PDP stands for pre-training, during training, and post-training transfer effectiveness model. Wonderful. That was a model we designed out after years of research, years of practice, and years of experience. We designed that. It's working perfectly for us. So use this to evaluate training, before training, during training, and after training. So track across all phases. What we found out is that businesses just concentrate on the during phase. They don't even talk about pre-phase. Some talk about post. But when you don't get pre right, how do you want to evaluate post? So there are 3 phases of training: pre-training, during training, and post-training. Start tracking right from the beginning, not in the center. Then the last but not the least, acknowledge all influencers. Look at all the forces at play, not just the training intervention, and acknowledge them, because there's what we call handshakes. Now, in my class today, I told you I started the silver, the certification for this Kirkpatrick, the silver level certification. And I had a reason why I'm doing that. After silver, I'm going to bronze. I'm going to gold. There was something our facilitator talked about. So you can see me, I'm here teaching, doing webinar. I'm also being certified. I'm certifying people, and there are people are also certifying me. That is it. And there was something, an example she used, a case study of one organization. They had neonatal death up to 6 children that was incubated. They died all because there was a mistake by the nurse. They gave a wrong injection, and the children, 6 of them all died. Guess what? The nurse, head of nursing, in short, it went to American. It was I'm sure if you check out, you see them in Indianapolis. It was all over the news. They made even international headlines. And now, next thing, the head of the nursing came and told her, she was the L&D, told her that she should train all her nurses. There are 1,000 of them. Train them on the new software. Now I'm going to summarize that because that's not the case study. We already have a case study. What I'm trying to say is that in doing that, she didn't just take. I found out that L&D and HR, you are order takers. What do I mean by order takers? They tell you, a manager comes to meet you. I want you to train my people on leadership. You go and look for a company to train them. Another person will come and tell you, I want you to train my people on delegation. Immediately, you're going to search for trainers, training organizations that will train them. You're just an order taker. As an HR and L&D, you are supposed to be a performance consultant. You are supposed to be having that conversation with them. Why do you want this? What do you want to change? What is happening now? When we do this, what will happen? Why will you know it has happened? Those are the conversations you should be having. Stop being an order taker. And so in doing that, she found out that she had to meet IT. IT had data she needed. Finance had the data she needed, as in like 4 different SBUs. Had what she needed to help her to ensure this training was a success. So you can imagine if she was thinking that it's only the training that will solve that problem. So acknowledge in every training, it cannot be just that training. There are influencers that will help you to ensure that that training is a success. So acknowledge those influencers. Bottom line is, HR and L&D's role is to demonstrate strategic contribution, not prove sole attribution. That's your role. Demonstrate strategic contribution, not sole attribution. So don't try to isolate training or try to isolate the ROI. And this is what I just said. The village analogy. We often say in Africa culture, it takes a village to raise a child. In the same way, I am saying the same thing. It takes an ecosystem to transfer learning into performance. It takes an ecosystem to transfer learning into performance. So what are the real drivers of performance? What are the real drivers of performance? What are the real drivers? And I'm saying performance improvement is almost always the result of multiple forces working together. I've said that. Effective training, line manager support, organizational systems in place, supportive work environment, motivation and incentives, market or product condition. These are the drivers of performance. It's not just the training. So trying to isolate ROI by ignoring all this is very misleading. Don't ignore them. Rather, find out what, you remember the analysis, what is the contribution of training to the end result we want to see. This is the smarter approach. So instead of trying to isolate ROI, start with ROE. Please. Start with ROE. A lot of people don't know what return on expectation is. A lot of people don't even know how to do it. I've spoken to so many HR leaders, they don't know ROE. But ROE is the most important thing. ROI will come even after ROE. So what is ROE? ROE is the foundation. It defines what stakeholders want to see business-wise and behavioral before the training. What do they want to see? Let me give a very big example. Senior management or executive leadership are saying, we want this organization to be a place whereby when people come in, they are happy working there and they see this as a home. What is that? Is that ROI? That's not ROI now. It is ROE. ROI is numbers. It is figures. It is quantitative. ROE is what? It is qualitative. expectations. So how do you want to now, what this thing they say, how do you want to get ROI on it? It is by, first of all, what? Defining the ROE, because with that, ROI will come. Make sure the ROE is measurable. And they use such things. This is what this is the outcome. So now you stand for, Stephen Covey says, begin with the end in mind. Yes, if I'm not mistaken, the 7 habits of highly effective people. Yeah, so it's begin with the end in mind. So for every training initiative, start with the end. What is the outcome? What is the business looking at? What do they want? With that, you now walk back to now design your training. Don't start designing your training to move up. No, start from the up and move down. Start designing your training. So only after ROE is defined and tracked can ROI be measured meaningfully. So you must be able to know what ROE is and measure it. These are the 3 big shifts that you need to make. Are you an HR person, you're L&D trainer, whoever you are? These are 3 big shifts you need to make. What are they? 1, stop isolating ROI. Instead, focus on contribution. To what extent the training help achieve the results? Secondly, start with ROE, return on expectation. Clarify what stakeholders expect from training. Make it specific and measurable. Let me give you a very clear example. I said this during our Lagos breakfast meeting. So I've been going around Africa countries. Last month I was in Ghana. This month we did Nigeria. Last month, June, we did Nigeria. I said to rest this month. Next month we are doing Rwanda. Hopefully after Rwanda in August, maybe September, I may do Kenya. Since my big sis is here in Goza, I'll speak with her and see how we can do Kenya, right? And I've been going around trying to make this mindset shift. And I shared this we had it at the Lagos Oriental Hotel, June 20 last month. I've turned down 3 jobs as a business. I said, is there an extreme? Some people kept quiet. I said, some people say, it'd be like you've made the money, that's why you're turning jobs down. I said, no, that there comes to a time whereby you need to take the risk. And what is that? Any organization that doesn't want us to show them ROE and ROI, we don't do business with them. And I've turned down 3 jobs, and I mean it. Sometimes they are like, my colleagues are like, are you okay? Maybe you've arrived. I said, it has nothing to do with arriving. It has to do with what your heart is beating, what you want to stand for. A lot of people don't want to take that bold step. I'm ready to take the bold step. Three businesses shut down. Now, one of them came to us and said, we want you to train our senior leaders on communication. I said, what does that mean? He said, yes, now, we want them to be able to communicate well. I said, what does communicating well mean? This is a high level. This is a return on expectation. Maybe that's what the business has told her they want. And now she's coming to me. And before my sense became well, I would just go and prepare proposal and give proposal for effective communication training. No, I don't do that again. We don't do that again. We will have a discussion with you. I asked her, what do you mean by effective communication? She said, Madam Sandra, as in, so they will be able to communicate well with their people. I said, when you say communicating well, what do you mean? She started getting angry. I now took time. I said, I can sense you're getting angry, but the games have changed. The Madam Sandra you knew is not the same Madam Sandra you know today. Things have changed. Now let me tell you that I cannot measure communicating well, because what you mean by communicating well is different from what I may mean. It's different from what my big sis Ngozi will mean, or William will mean, or Femi, or Uduak, or Rita. It is different. This was a call of 45 minutes. I started asking her. I don't want to bore you. I was asking her questions. Now let me tell you where we arrived at. At the end, we arrived at what they needed. Executive leadership were complaining that whenever they send communication to the senior managers, they don't cascade down to their direct reports, and so it delays report. It delays work. I said, can you see now it makes sense? So that means the challenge is these leaders they are not cascading the information they get from executive leader to their direct report. I said, okay. I said, how soon do you want them to be doing? He said, how? Yes, now how will you measure and evaluate if you don't know how soon? When you say you want them to cascade information. So how? Within what time frame? Is there a time frame? She now remember, I said, oh, that's true. She said in their policy, because it's a government organization in Nigeria, say in their policy that within 48 hours, you should be able to communicate whatever top management has given you. I said, can you see? I said, so we need to know where you will catch those managers. So within 48 hours, if they don't cascade those information, you know how to catch them. Guess what? She just said, thank you so much. Thank you, I appreciate it. I said, but you were getting angry before. I said, no problem. I said, but we're not going to do the training for you. Say, why? I said, because people are not ready for it. She said, let me tell you, Madam Sandra, I'm just new in this company. I'm just 6 months. My boss will not even agree. All this one, he will say he doesn't have power for it. I said, so that's why I'm not going to use you. We're not going to work for you. I will give you a name for another organization. 2, I gave her a couple. 3, I say, can work with them. They are very good. They are not as high-fisted as I am. They are very good. They will do it. And they did it. This is not 1, this is not 2. I said 3 this year. So you must be able to clarify to stakeholder, what do you expect from this training? And that's why at the end, if we don't do this, you will do the training, they will come back to you and say that the training you did for their staff did not work. Yes, that did not work. They don't want to use you again. Why? Because they did not see any returns. Why? Because you did not plan the returns. The third big shift that has to be adopt a full phase evaluation strategy. Use models like Kirkpatrick, which I'm using, Brinkerhoff, Professor Robert Brinkerhoff. He has the SCM model he's using, which is a success case model he's using, and my PDP model. Use them to be able to adopt a full phase evaluation strategy from pre, during, and post. Please feel free to ask questions if you need to, please. Let me see, is there anything in the chat box? Okay, nothing in the chat box. Okay. I hope I'm not speaking. Are we following? Please just give me a thumbs up if you're following. I hope I'm not just talking to myself. Thank you, Femi. I can see thumbs up from Femi. Please just give me a thumbs up. Okay, thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you. Thank you, Edward. Yeah. Okay. Now, I want to introduce the ecosystem. If training happens in isolation, results will be accidental. Thank you, Rita. If training happens in isolation, results will be accidental. So to drive results, we need the ecosystem, the TTE ecosystem. And the ecosystem is made up of 6 components, all working together to make sure training sticks, that training performs and training delivers. And now, I'm proud to show you the ecosystem. This is a framework we came up with as a business. And this is what we are using. And if you look at it, you agree with me that this is very key. This is the ecosystem. If you want your training to deliver ROE and ROI, you must work with these 6 people. 1, executive leadership. 2, the HR or L&D. I call them. Okay, I can see a question. Oh, let me go. I just saw a question before I continue. I saw, how do we get all the parties that affect performance to come on board? Emmanuel, that's what we call stakeholders engagement. Their strategies. Apart from the ones I've gotten in this my certification, silver certification I'm doing, they gave me more. Even though I already have had some, they gave me more. There are strategies. Everything, there's a strategy to everything, no? There are strategies you must employ because these stakeholders they will not listen to you. But there are ways to employ, strategies to employ to ensure that these stakeholders listen to you. And there are questions to even ask them. If you're able to, there's something we call resistant stakeholders. So there are strategies to deal with these resistant stakeholders, and there are strategies to build relationship. So there are 2 things. 1, the strategies to build relationship with these stakeholders. Then secondly, the strategy to be able to overcome resistance. Haven't you seen stakeholders that are resistant? Now, if you're saying A, they are saying B, they say this training will not work. It's not in my time. It's not going to happen. So there are strategies to it. Maybe I will take that in another webinar. There are strategies to it, and it's working. So we have the line manager, which I call the art of training transfer effectiveness. We have the employee, who is the learner. We have the trainer, either the internal or external. External are people like myself, Emmanuel. Who else is a trainer? Yeah. Okay, my sister Ngozi too. So we are the trainers. Then the work environment, or the process. So each one must play their part for training transfer effectiveness to succeed. Now let's break this down one by one. Let's break it down one by one. Let's start with executive leadership. What does it mean? Leadership must set the tone from funding to demanding results. Leadership must demand the result. But what do we find? I'm sure you agree with me that leadership are not even necessarily invested in training. Or let me ask, what do you think about with leadership? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Executive leadership. Is there anybody that wants to share? What are your thoughts? What do you think? Are they important to making sure we are able to see ROE and ROI for your training, for our training investment? Okay, since the participant I have today, they just want me to be talking. Is there anybody that wants to contribute? Okay, nobody. Okay, let me continue. It's okay. I'm happy to continue, but I just wanted to share. Let me have some people talk. Okay, and NG, I saw your mic being unmuted. Please go ahead.
No, just okay. You wanted to hear your voice. Just continue. We're taking it all in. That's it.
Okay, thank you, ma. Okay, so executive leadership is very, very key. Now I want to let you into something. Okay, someone said, Edward said, top leadership see the essence of training. Yes, they have to see the essence of training. Yeah? Because they're the ones going to fund it. And they have to demand the result. They have to understand it in order to demand the result. Some, they don't. And so they're not demanding the result from HR. Have you seen, I saw a post on LinkedIn. And guess what? The CEO of that organization said, on every training that HR brings to them, HR needs to tell him. So I'm just paraphrasing based on what I read. So these are not his actual words. I'm paraphrasing from what I saw on LinkedIn. HR should be able to tell him what is the return on expectation. I mean, what is the return on investment for this training that they are doing? What's the returns? So if a management is demanding something, then I want to see results. What are the results? We spent 20 million in a year for training, and yet we got only 5 million out of it. Calculate that, 5 over 20 times 100. How much did we lose? So executive leadership must be able to demand the results. Let me give you a live example again. Someone was in my class, in one of the classes I take in LBS, and someone was in the class, and the man said, the CEO said, he said that, Madam, you will not understand. I said, why? He said, he has learned and now he has changed. Now in his organization, the policy he has put in his organization is that for anybody that wants to go for training, that he will take out the money from their salary. Everybody were like, wow, my mouth was wide open. Really? He said, you will not understand though. I've spent millions on training. They're just wasting my time and wasting my money and wasting my organization. He said, no, that it ends. That's what he has started and that's what is happening. Anybody that wants to go for training, he deducts the money from their salary. What will push a CEO to come to that extent that he doesn't see training as something important again? He sees training as, if you want to go for training, I will collect money, I will deduct it from your salary. This is so bad. I felt so bad. However, I kind of understood, maybe because I'm an entrepreneur and I'm a CEO. I understood because he has spent so much money and he cannot see the result. Who do I hold responsible? I hold him responsible. I also hold the HR L&D in that organization responsible. And I also hold him responsible. Then I also hold the line managers. In short, this whole ecosystem, I hold them responsible. So now, So if leadership doesn't care about results, no one else will. Can you imagine a leader, the executive leadership, they are driving training. Sure, haven't you seen people that go for training, They will leave, they're in training, their managers are calling them. They are carrying laptop inside training. They are sending reports. They are making calls. Most of the time, they are not there in that training. What is that? And they say they came for training. It's not important. To them, it's not important. To the line manager, it's not important. To the business, it's not important. And you waste money. People go to Harvard Business School. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Go to LBS, go to these big business schools, Wharton, go to all of them, and they come back. A GM was talking to me, a friend of mine. He's a GM of HR. He was saying that he was discussing with his CEO. I was speaking to him last month. He said the CEO was telling him, say, hey, come. Let me say the CEO's name is my friend's name is William. He said, William, come. Those your guys we sent to Harvard, how far? I can't see value. You know Harvard, how much they pay to go to Harvard? Thousands of dollars, over 20-something thousand, depending on the cost, some even $50-something thousand. He said, how far with them? How far with that this thing? The guy said, I don't know, nothing. Can you imagine? And that's why he said, please come and run. When I was telling him about this return on expectation, telling him about TT and models, he said, come and run this for our organization. So that's something we're going to do for them in September. We are running it implant for them. He said, this thing, we need it. See what my CEO was asking me just recently. I said, hey, you have wasted money now to continue like that. So training becomes a formality, not a performance tool. That's what is missing when you don't see executive leadership. For example, when execs ask, what business problem will this training solve? L&D gets serious. They don't know what. What's the business problem your training is solving? What's the business problem? If you ask some HR and L&D, they don't know. They cannot tie it to a business problem. Every training must be tied to a business objective, either directly or indirectly. It must be tied. If it's not tied, shut that thing down. There's no need to send those people on that training. It must be tied. If it's not tied, it's a waste of time. So a reflection for you people. Are your executives actively involved in defining and demanding training outcomes? Please, this is time for you to answer now. It's no more me. Let me turn on my video now. But I'm having internet issues. I don't know. And I'm using two different fiber optic I don't want to mention the people I'm using so I don't spoil their business for them. So, is there anybody that wants to share? Are your executives actively involved in defining and demanding training outcomes? Are they demanding, say, for this training you're sending these people, we've slotted out 20 or 30 trainings you're sending them. What are the outcomes? What is the result you get? Are they demanding that? Is there anybody that wants to share? I think I see something on chat. Okay, Femi says, from where I sit, I cannot tell. Okay, thank you so much, Femi. Is there any other person for where you sit? Is this maybe an L&D manager here or a director of L&D, HR? Can you tell? Is there anybody? Can you tell? Okay, let me continue. If your executives are not demanding it, you're on your own, no? Do things that will make them to demand it. Start stakeholder engagement, what Emmanuel was asking. You may not have the opportunity to deal with the toppest management, which is CEOs. However, you may have a connection through maybe your line manager who is maybe a director or an ED. You must build network that would help you to be able to connect to that top. That's what it is. You must find, okay, my internet is showing again. You must find a way to be able to build this and find out they must demand for training outcomes. They must define it and demand it. Now let's quickly go to the second one. The second component. HR or L&D. I call them the science of training transfer effectiveness. What do I mean by that? When I talk about, and that was what I came up with. I came up with the science, HR, what we call the science and the art of training transfer effectiveness. The HR or the L&D, they are the ones that know about the models, the frameworks, the templates, the tools. They know about it. The line managers may not know about it. So they are the science. So you must understand those tools, those models, those frameworks, and know how it works to be able to guide the people that need to make sure this or let it work or make use of it. So what does this mean? The HR L&D, you must design and deliver and evaluate training. But you must focus on transfer, not just delivery. How many people focus on transfer? Is there anybody here that, I don't know if you want to feel you may be shooting yourself on the foot, but is there anybody that wants to truthfully say, when you're designing training in your organization, do you focus on transfer? Do you focus on the application? when people come back, we want them to apply it, and not just saying it. You put in place things that will make people to apply it. Is there anybody that wants to share with us? Is there anybody? Let's make this thing practical. Is there anybody that wants to share with us? If you want, because I'm recording this, I could always pause it, so no one will see you or hear your voice, because it will be that your organization and all that. I can. So if you want to talk, can tell me. I can just pause it now and just type into chat, because when you're recording, nobody sees what is chat. If you want me to pause it, type into chat. I can pause it and you can speak. And after that, I can start recording again. Why we record is that we want other people to be able to have the opportunity to watch it. Is there anybody that wants to share with us? Okay, nobody wants to share. Okay, let's continue. So HR and L&D, you okay? Okay, Emmanuel. Okay.
Hello.
Yes, Emmanuel, I can hear you.
All right. Coach Sandra, thank you very much. Yes. All right. So as a trainer, I try as much as possible. The way I focus on, or what I do to take care of application, is that I try as much as possible to let participants demonstrate what we are learning. All right. So if, for example, I'm teaching interview skills to young people, I try as much as possible to, first of all, demonstrate it and then call them as if, when you knock, when you sit down, first question, introduce yourself, those interview questions, how to go around it. That's when I'm dealing with young people. If it is communication and I'm teaching feedback, how to give feedback and take feedback, I demonstrate and try to see if they can also demonstrate. And so if you are able to get the concepts, I think if you can just demonstrate it for me to see. But as to you going back to practice it, that's what another thing altogether.
And that is what in Nigeria we say that is the cocoa. That they demonstrated it doesn't mean that they will apply it when they get back. Demonstrating is what we call training effectiveness. The training was worthwhile. The training gave them the skill and the knowledge. But we are talking about what? Training transfer effectiveness, the application. The application, that's where we are. That's what we are talking about. So that they did it during the training doesn't guarantee that they will do it when they get back to their organizations. So that is why you have to design it and build it in a way that when they get back to the organizations, they would apply it. So even before the training begins, you start designing it. So we want you to be able to, when you want to give feedback, you use this. You first of all, maybe let me use, for instance, giving the feedback. Let's use the sandwich approach. Now, so when you come back in talking with people, and when you're trying to give the feedback, you use the sandwich approach, whereby you say something nice, give the feedback, and end it with saying something nice again. But there are people there to monitor. People he's accountable or she, they're accountable to ensure that they're using it. So you must build. So you must design and deliver and evaluate training based on transfer, not just delivery. Why it matters is that you as HR L&D, you hold the key to strategy. You hold the key to measurement. You hold the key to alignment. So whenever you don't do this, training is disconnected from the business needs and it will never be tracked. If you do not design training with transfer behind you, it can never be tracked. Let me give an example. An L&D team that connects training to business KPIs, what do they see? They will see better application and retention. So you must ensure that they design it to business KPIs, and in designing it, there's transfer. Now my question is your L&D function designing for learning, or they are designing for transfer? Are they intentionally saying that we want people to come back to be able to apply everything they learned in the training, and not just apply it, they continually apply it? That's a question for you to answer. That's really a question for you to answer. Now, the third component is the line manager. They are the ones that give feedback. They are the ones that reinforce. They are the ones that create opportunities to apply. I call them the art of training transfer effectiveness. Employees resign because of their line managers, not because of the organization. So the line managers, they are very, very critical. The art means that they are the ones there. It is in their department, in their unit, that those people are coming back. Someone was sharing with us in my class today and said that she went to learn this, I think her staff went for a training. When the staff came back, guess what the line manager said? He said, all those things you've learned, just keep it there. You've come back to this organization, you will do what I want you to do. Can you imagine that? Can you beat that? So on that organization paid money to go for training, person is back and you told the person to dump whatever he or she has learned, that the person should do whatever you tell her. So you can see that the line managers, they are critical. They control the real work environment where transfer needs to happen. They are the ones that control the environment where transfer will happen. So what happens when line managers do not do what they are going to do? Participants return to work. They are confused. Participants are unsupported. Participants are blocked for applying learning. I just gave you a very live example. This is real. It happened. They come, the line manager say, all those things you've learned, don't come and put it here. And especially if the line manager doesn't know, he said, people have come again, HR has come again with their issues. We will continue as we're doing. However, but line managers who hold pre, during and post-training conversations, they increase transfer rates by up to 70%. So the line manager should be involved in the pre-training, during training and post-training. And with that, you will see people applying. 70% of people will apply what they are being taught. Now, my question is, are your line managers actively supporting the transfer process? Are your line managers in your organization? Is there anybody that wants to share? Let me stop here now. Is there anybody that wants to share? Anybody? Oh, nobody. Okay, let me continue. I want to just believe that you're soaking up everything. Not that. Okay. Emmanuel, sorry. Say again.
Please, the question again. It wasn't clear.
Okay, so I said, are your line managers actively supporting the transfer process? Are they actively ensuring that people come back and apply what they've learned from training? Are they doing that in the organizations? Okay, let me continue. The fourth component is the employee. They are the ones that are going to go for the training. They are the ones that are going to apply it. They are the ones that are going to be transformed. If your employee is not ready mentally and you set the employee for training, you've just wasted your time, wasted your money. If the employee is not in the right frame of mind, so for an employee to go for training, ensure the employee is mentally ready, emotionally ready, and physically ready even to attend that training. So if they are not, just know that you would have just wasted money and wasted time. Are they motivated? Because if they are not motivated to go for that training, when they come back, they go back to status quo. So when employees are not, they don't have the readiness to be able to learn and apply and transform from the training, they become passive. They become uninterested. They're unsure. So have you seen your employees that say that they don't know why they're in this training? That why did they try to send me on this training? I see it a couple of times. However, employees who articulate the business reason for the training are 2 times more likely to apply it. They understand what's the business reason. They even understand the wifing for them. Because for you to send an employee for a training, let him or her know what is it in for them to go for that training. The wifing for them. Now my question is, do employees know what it is in for them before training starts? The wifing. Do they know? Do they know, or do they feel that, some people feel that they punish them. HR and their line managers are punishing them by sending them on training. There was an organization that the employees were complaining that every year they send them on Excel training. That what kind of punishment is that? They don't need it. Then why are they sending them? They saw it as a punishment. Can you imagine? Can you beat that? So do your employees know what is it in for them before training starts? we go to the fifth component. We are wrapping up now. What we call the trainer, either the internal trainer or external trainer. Internal trainer means the faculty. There are some organizations, their own employees are the trainers. They have a faculty whereby they have an academy and it's the employees that train. So the trainer, whoever, is it the external trainers or the internal trainer, they must be transfer minded, not applause driven. They must not be ready for people to clap for them and jump up and down. Haven't you seen people that are great motivational speakers? At the end, what happens? Nothing. They go back to status quo. Why? Because these trainers, they are the ones that shape how the content is received and if it sticks. So they have a role to play. Training is entertaining. They dance, they shout, they rejoice. At the end, it's not transformational. But rather, we want training to be transformational, not just entertaining. So trainers who facilitate action planning sessions see higher transfer rates. So are your trainers aligned with the business goals or just delivering content? What are your trainers doing? What are your trainers doing? And the last but not the least component is the work environment and the process. What are the systems in place? What are the tools? What are the policies? What are the culture that support our block application? I know of organizations whereby their culture blocks. Their culture is a what was that? There's a name of something I wanted to use. There's something we say in Nigeria, I can't remember it now. Is that they are the ones that stop and block the culture, make sure people do not apply what they learn. So, do you have systems that are stopping people from applying what they learn from training? Do you have policies that are stopping people from applying what they learn from training? Is your organization so hostile, very toxic, very rigid? So every great training will fail in a hostile or rigid environment. So what happens when this is missing? When you don't have the right system, the right tools, the right policies, the right culture, what happens? Employees revert to old ways. There's no room to try new skills, because if you want to try it, it's dead on arrival. Before you even think of it, it's dead on arrival. So you can imagine that companies, maybe you go for a Power BI training. Before you come back, they've created things for you to be able to apply that Power BI. Unlike you go for a Power BI training, you come back, you cannot apply it. You will forget it. It will go and it will be a waste of money. So companies that revise their workflows to support new skills report higher productivity post-training. So revise your workflow to support the new skills that you've sent people to learn. And my question is, does your environment enable or disable application? What does your environment do? Does it enable or disable application? So going back to the case study, in the sales training, skills improved, results were achieved, but no one looked at the whole ecosystem. Don't forget, we started with a case study. No one looked at the whole ecosystem. Now let us ask, was ROE defined with stakeholders before the training? Let me ask, from the case study, who wants to try? Was ROE defined with the stakeholders before the training? Is there anybody? Was with ROE, return on expectation, was it defined with stakeholders before the training? No, it wasn't. Did the line manager support the training process? Anybody? Did the line manager support the training process? As if there was even a process, because the line manager was already saying it was not training that did it. So no, there was no process there. Was the work environment designed to reinforce the learning? So these and many more are questions you ask. Okay, I can see something on chat. And let me read what I see on chat. I said unknown. Exactly, it's unknown, Femi. Thank you so much, Femi. It's unknown. So the problem with isolating ROI, trying to prove that training alone caused the result, that is the wrong question. It wasn't just training. It was training plus product changes, plus pricing, plus market timing, plus manager oversight. So the better question is, to what extent did training contribute? To what extent did training contribute? And so, ROE versus ROI. return on expectation. It has to be defined before training. The behavior and business expectations. I can see what Emmanuel posted. He said, I now understand that there's a need to reorient all the parties to performance. Let me read that again. So Emmanuel says, I now understand that there's a need to reorient all the parties to performance very well. This should not be a one-time event. They must really appreciate the need to think of transfer by one, learning to diagnose the performance improvement solutions, understanding how to refine their ROE, understanding how to seek training transfer before training begins. My question is how to get all these people working together to see performance improves after training. I will come to your question, Emmanuel. So ROE, return on expectation, must be defined before training. The behaviors you want to see, which is what we call level 3 in Kirkpatrick, the behaviors, the critical behaviors. And if you don't see level 3, you cannot see results. If you don't work on the critical behavior, what are those behavior change you want to see? How do you want to see results? It's behaviors that bring results now. It's behaviors that bring results. How do you want to see those behaviors and business? So behavior and business expectations, and ROE must be owned by the stakeholders. Every stakeholder must own it. ROI, which is return on investment, is usually calculated after training. It shows contribution, not causation. It doesn't show how it happened, it just shows contribution. So without ROE, you may not measure ROI meaningfully. So ensure that there's always ROE. And this is the PDP model I told you people about, the model which we designed that we use for clients and that has been working very well for clients. You cannot fix training transfer by focusing on one point. That is why I created the PDP training transfer effectiveness model. It stands for pre-training, during training, post-training model. Pre-training phase, alignment, expectation setting. That is that stage. Emmanuel, what you're asking. Expectation setting, baseline data. During training, active learning, practice, relevance. Post-training, support, application, measurement, and evaluation. It works when the ecosystem supports it. So, does the ecosystem support it? And this is the model. So this is the model. Phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, what you do in the model. So application of the learning in the workforce. So this is the PDP model. If you check our other this on YouTube, you see the model already. So I'm concluding. The TT ecosystem, training alone doesn't transform performance. It is the ecosystem that does. If you want sustainable impact, build a system, not just a session. Build a system, not just a session. Build a system, not just a session. Training alone doesn't transform performance. It is the ecosystem that does. So if you want sustainable impact, build a system, not just a session. What are you building? Are you building a system or you're building a session? What exactly are you building? So do you want help in applying this in your organization, the PDP model? Let us talk about how we can help you build or repair your ecosystem. Join the mastermind program. It started last week Tuesday. It's 18 weeks. You see it is an 18 weeks training program for HR and L&D that would help you to show ROI and ROE for every of your training investments. So join my mastermind program. Invite me to speak with your leadership team. Reach out. Let us stop training for the sake of training. Let us build transfer. Let us build for transformation. And at this point in time, let me take what are the questions from everything I've spoken. Everything I've said. It is now time for Q&A. Let's start with Emmanuel's own, then I'll open up for any other person. So let me go back to Emmanuel's question. Emmanuel said, my question is how to get all those people working together to see performance improves after training. Emmanuel, that is what I call relationship building. One way, let me just give you, though this is not what I wanted to talk about, but let me just start talking about it today. Because of this question, I might talk about it next week. One is be an expert in the business, Emmanuel. You want these people to come together and see that performance improves after training, be an expert in the business. Understand what their needs are. Understand what is making them not to sleep at night. Understand what their object. Every department, they want to meet their objective. They want to meet their goals, whatever management has given them. Understand what they want. Understand the concerns they are having, their concerns and the concerns of their employees. And when in understanding that, listen to them. Listen to what they are saying to you. Identify the root of their issues. And as you're listening and trying to identify, try to summarize what they are saying. Don't go there and be your solution provider. Listen to them first. What are their challenges? What are their issues? Where is it coming from? How can you help them? Then speak business language. Don't talk training. Don't bring training in there. Don't talk training jargon there. Don't talk anything training. Speak business language. Forget all those training jargon. Let them see you as a stakeholder. Let them see you as someone that is interested in their business. Start having that conversation with them. That is some of the ways you can start making them to get interested in what you're saying, because they must see you as that you are not just there, because a lot of them see HR as cost center. So for you that is an external trainer, it also depends. Choose your battles. I have chosen my battle. If they don't want ROE and ROI, I will not train them. We have that conversation. I let them know what it is, and I try to understand their business. We've done it with several businesses. So if you want to see results, then you have to do what it has to be done to see results. Emmanuel, I don't know if this helps you. Does this help you?
Yes, but I can see that, as you said, it will be a tough battle, because I think I'm just expecting people who will say my consultant, you have called it to just come and train. There's no need for you to talk to me and those stuff. That is where sometimes the problem is at. I mean, some of the managers. So I think the best is probably to orient the HR, right? And talk to the HR to ensure this thing. That's what I am thinking. We'll be able to run around it.
Yeah, start that conversation as just you've been doing. Give them our YouTube channels. Let them go and watch. Let them learn, because they don't know. If they know, they will not give you this problem. But because they don't know, they will give you problem. They will tell you, just come. We just called you to come and train. Just come and train. Forget all these things you're saying, because they don't know.
But I'm hoping to the day I will be courageous like you.
You will get there, Emmanuel. Because you're determined, I know that you will get there. You will definitely get there.
Thank you.
They say little drops of water make an ocean. You will get there. Okay, are there more questions? Does anybody has any question? Edward, Femi, Williams, Rita, Lorna, Zara, Shaibu. I know you did join. You didn't join in. You joined in a bit late. I hope you're able to get something. Are there questions? Do you have any questions? Emmanuel, it seems you're the star of today's webinar. Are there questions? Are you clear? I want to believe you're clear. Nobody is speaking. I want to believe you're clear and you understood everything I said. Okay?
Yeah, for Sandra.
Yes, please.
I think when you answered my first question on the parties, you said there is something you call resistance campaign.
Yes.
So my question was that if these parties don't resist you, if you don't have anybody resisting you, they are all cooperating with you, how can you be sure that your training help improve performance? Your training will help.
Because of what you design. So your design, so if they're not resisting you, means that they are ready to join you to design for transfer.
Yes.
They are ready to help you to work with you to design for transfer. So you design it and put metrics. Data doesn't lie. Data doesn't lie. If it's working, the data will show. If it's not working, the data will also show it's not working. Data never lies. So you must collect data. Okay. You must collect data. I don't know, does that help?
Yes. I think, yeah.
Okay. Edward says, I've learned a very key concept on TT. Okay, thank you so much, Edward. Okay, thank you. Okay, so if there are no more questions, I'm wrapping up by saying, so this is at end of every webinar, I give a quote. Training doesn't deliver results in isolation. Start with ROE to define what matters. Then activate the PDP model across pre, during, and post, because it is the ecosystem that truly transforms performance. And that is by me, the quote by me, Sandra the Oracle, Africa's leading voice on training transfer effectiveness. And so what will be your next line of action? Type into chat, because we just have 3 more minutes to end. Type into chat, what will be your next line of action? Type into chat, I'll read it. And it's not too late to join the mastermind program. So before we wrap up, I want to share with you this mastermind, which we said we started last week, Tuesday. It is an 18 weeks program. It's a transformational program. The head of L&D for an organization was there last week, and she said to me, she said, it's as if I spent weeks in everything you've just taught today, that I am so glad I made this investment. So reach out to us, send an email to us if you're interested. We have 2 prepayment plan that you can help you to pay gradually to be able to get this. So reach out to us and you can join. It's not too late. You can join the class. And last but not the least, it is our iTech conference coming up in Lagos, Nigeria, November 13 and 14 this year, and at the Lagos Oriental Hotel. It is the first ever conference on training transfer effectiveness. Never have there been in Africa or in the world. Never. There's no training that's been on training transfer effectiveness, on transfer in the world. We are the first ones bringing. So it's a big news. It is big. So if you cannot come to Nigeria for this conference, please go online and join virtually. You're going to have the same experience. Join virtually. Don't miss this conference. Don't miss this conference. And so these are some of our speakers. We have the CEO of my next line of action. Okay, Manuel is saying, okay. So we have the CEO of the Institute for Transfer Effectiveness, Melanie Martinelli, coming in all the way from Switzerland. We have Tom coming all the way from Chicago. We have Anna coming all the way from Germany, and we have our African speakers together with me that will be speaking. So do not miss. We have over 22 speakers that will be coming, and this is what you get to gain. All those certifications that I paid in thousands of dollars, thousands of euros, you can get it at a discounted amount here in Nigeria. If you come for this conference, if you sign up for this conference, you can get it at a very discounted rate. Like what I'm doing now is over $2,000. The silver certification I'm doing now is over $2,000. The bronze certification, Kirkpatrick Bronze Certification Program by Kirkpatrick Partners is over. Check them on their website. It's about $2,000 something, but we are giving you at a very reduced, like 50% discount. Yeah, 50, right? Yeah, it's 40% discount. Yeah, not really 50, 40%. I'm just trying to give the calculation on my head. So any of these certifications you want to get, you're getting it at a very reduced price. You have to try one practical tip this week and share your experience with us. Next week, old ways would open new doors. Success doesn't come cheap. It comes with hard work. Are you willing to pay the price for success? The choice is just now. What will it be? And on this note, I just want to say, finally be happy and feel good about yourself. Thank you very much, everyone. So I'm going to stop now, stop sharing, and turn on my video. Thank you so much for joining in today. I'm going to stay back in case you have questions to ask. So I'll stop the recording. I'll stay back, and I wish you all the best. Thank you so much. You can watch this video again on our YouTube. Come with your questions next week. Invite one person, invite a friend, invite somebody, invite a brother, invite a sister. And from this time, I'm going to sign out by saying, have a beautiful weekend and have a blessed week. See you again next week, Thursday. Thank you.